Part 3 on how I got my BBL surgically removed because my sit down wind was stinking real bad. So I deleted part 1 because there were so many people in the comments talking shit how y'all are doing now. So I deleted part 1 and I made part 2 because there was some people in the comments that wanted to know more. BBL stink, do you hear me? And it's not coming from the vagina or the beehole. It's coming from the incisions that they cut to inject the fluid and the fat in your butt, okay? There's people in the comments saying, oh, you wasn't washing up right. Come on, let's be real. It's coming out of the incision. It fucking stink. I don't care what y'all say. It stink. And if it's not healing properly and your body is rejecting it, the hole will remain open and the drainage will continue to come out and stink up your linen, stink up your underwear, stink up everything, okay? Now, my BBL been removed for the past 4 years. Only had it in for about a year until it was stinking so bad I couldn't take it no more. I don't know if y'all wanted me to get on here and say BBL smell good, but they fucking stink. Stay away from them.
Okay, Shalom. Okay, first and foremost, I would like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekakadash, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me this truth, as well as much respect and honors to the brothers that are pushing this truth in sincerity across the four winds of this earth and risking their lives and freedom to do so. I would also like to give much honors and respect to the brothers and sisters that are of the hopeful elect that are doing their very best to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High to the best of their abilities. Shalom. As you saw in this short video that I just shared with you, you have this Eve right here. And she was basically talking about how these BBLs stink. Okay, now here it is. She said that she had a BBL and she had to have it removed because it was leaking. It wasn't healing up properly. And it was also stinking, you know. Now, this same Eve right here, in another video that she had made, she had mentioned that she had lost a boyfriend, okay, behind, this BBL, because she had said that, the boyfriend was complaining, that it was stinking really bad, and I guess, from what she was saying, that it just got to the point to where he couldn't deal with it anymore. So, he ended up, bouncing on her, but this right here is not the first time. I mean, that, people have said that these BBLs, stink. And here it is, a lot of our women, they love to get these BBLs. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of women with these BBLs. And you can tell, when these women get them because, their body, it just looks manufactured. Here it is, they'll have this big old butt, with these skinny legs. And then also, too, you can just see, that something has been done with their stomach or something like that because a lot of times their stomach look funny. It's very unattractive, okay? It looks ridiculous, okay? A lot of these women, when they get these BBLs, they look like ants and stuff like that. They look like some type of insect, a bug or something, But, the Most High is not with, these BBLs. Here it is, a lot of these women that's been getting these BBLs, they've been dropping left and right, okay? Because here it is, they'll go under the knife and allow these doctors to cut on them, and then, in the process of them getting these BBLs, infection in many cases sets up, their body becomes sepsis, and then they become unalive. Okay. And then there's also been reports of women, that have went down and, to wherever and they get these BBLs and they end up getting, organs, stolen from them. There was a report that had come out that where I believe it was an Eve that had went down to the Dominican Republic to get a BBL. Okay. And in the process of her getting that BBL, she got a kidney stolen from her. Okay. And now as a result of that, here it is. She has to be on medication for the rest of her life. Okay. And so, again, the Most High is not with these BBLs and whatnot because, here it is. In order for these doctors to give you these BBLs, they have to cut on you. And it's totally going off. And this Eve right here in this video right here, the Most High actually had mercy on her. OK, because here it is. She was saying that the BBL that she had gotten, it was leaking. Okay, it was stinking. The Most High had mercy on her because here it is that could have caused infection. Her body could have become sepsis. You know, and so again, the Most High actually had mercy on her. But I saw this video right here. I mean, and I just thought that I would bring out a quick lesson. But I will say this right here. It's nothing wrong with wanting to achieve a nice body, but the safest the safe and effective way to achieve a nice body is to go to the gym. Get a gym membership. But here it is. I mean, you have a lot of our women. They don't want to get a gym membership. They want to have those fast results. And so here it is. A lot of our women, they'll be willing to run down and allow these doctors to cut on them and whatnot, and fill them up with all these different concoctions and whatnot, to try to achieve a big butt and whatnot. And again, I mean, a lot of these women that are doing these things, they're dropping, okay? And these are judgments coming from the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Because again, allowing these doctors to cut on you and whatnot is totally going off. It's totally going off. And so what I'm going to go ahead on and do is I'm going to bring out a few scriptures and then we'll end the lesson. Okay, the first scripture I want to go to is in the book of Revelation, and this is chapter 17, and I want to start in verse 1. And it reads, "And there came one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that satteth upon many waters." Okay, and that great whore that sat upon many waters, that's talking about America, Babylon the Great. Verse 2, it says, "With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication." Okay, and see that being made drunk with the wine of her fornication, that's talking about the wicked philosophies that's being pushed out over here in Babylon the Great. Okay, those wicked philosophies that are pushed out over here in Babylon the Great, are contrary to the Most High's, law, statutes, and commandments. And Esau, he pushes out these wicked philosophies, that are contrary to the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. And here it is. You have a lot of these other nations, they have taken on these, wicked enchantments and philosophies that's pushed out over here in Babylon the Great. And in many cases, it's made their, their countries worse off than what they were. Okay. And then also, too, I mean, Babylon the Great is that main hub that, pushes out all the wickedness throughout the entire earth. Okay. And a lot of, people have been made drunk, okay, with the wine, with these wicked philosophies and enchantments that's pushed out over here. Even the people over here in Babylon the Great have been made drunk, with these wicked philosophies and enchantments that's pushed out over here. A lot of our people, okay, and when I say our people, I'm talking about the nation of Israel, who are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, and those that are other speckled bird that look like these other nations, but you go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob on your father's side. A lot of our people have been made drunk, with these wicked philosophies and enchantments that's pushed out over here. Okay, and see what Esau, he'll do is, in many cases, so far as with these surgeries like these BBLs and whatnot, Esau, he'll use a lot of these different celebrities and rappers and whatnot, such as Cardi B, because she's done had, a bunch of different surgeries and whatnot. He'll use, the Kardashian sisters, with all of these different BBLs and whatnot, and these lip, augmentations and other, forms of plastic surgeries. What Esau would do is he'll put these different celebrities and rappers on, television shows and magazines, and he'll give them different platforms, to where they can show off these different BBLs and plastic surgeries, to try to make it seem as though that it's a good thing, to do, these abominable things. Okay. And see, here it is. Many of our women, will try to imitate, what they see these celebrities doing. And so a lot of our women are running down and they're allowing these doctors to cut on them and inject them with whatever it is that they're putting in them, to try to, get these big, behinds and whatnot. And a lot of these, women that are getting these BBLs, they're having all types of health issues and whatnot. Okay, they're getting smells. I mean, they're stinking and whatnot. And a lot of them even, are even becoming unalive. Okay, and again, these are judgments coming from the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because again, we do not supposed to be allowing these doctors, to cut on us. Okay, and again, I mean, I'm saying, allowing a doctor to cut on you just so that you can achieve a big butt, that is just straight going off. I mean, that is just totally just vain, and it's just totally going off. But a lot of our women, are running down there to these doctors and getting these BBLs and whatnot. Okay, this is First Timothy, and this is chapter 5, and this is verse 6. And it reads, "But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth." Okay, and see, here it is. A lot of these Eves that are getting these different, procedures and whatnot, such as these BBLs and body enhancement procedures, they're living in pleasure, because what they're doing is they're altering, their bodies to try to achieve a certain look, and here it is. A lot of these Eves, they're seeing these celebrities and actresses, with these BBLs and lip enhancements and whatnot, and they're trying to do the same thing. Okay. And here it is. A lot of these, women that are running out here getting these BBLs, they're getting them just so that they can, try to get attention and just so that they can turn heads and whatnot. But, here it is. It's come out, that a lot of, a lot of men are saying, that, these BBLs, they don't look right. Okay. And that they're actually unattractive. Okay. Because, in many cases, they don't look right, because here it is. You'll see this woman with this big old butt with these skinny legs, and looking like some type of ant or something like that. It looks unproportioned. It just looks it looks weird. Okay. But here it is. A lot of women, have been deceived into thinking that, these BBLs, look good, and they don't. Okay. All because they're seeing these different celebrities and whatnot getting these things, these BBLs and all these other, surgeries and whatnot. But here it is. I see a lot of Eves, okay, getting these BBLs, and then here it is. You have a lot of these Eves, they'll take to social media with these BBLs, and they'll try to, shake and twerk and whatnot, basically trying to get attention and whatnot, seeking attention, which is the wrong attention, totally going off, because, again, as I was saying, a lot of men are coming out and saying, that, these BBLs that these women are getting, they don't look right. And here it is. A lot of men, though, are also saying that, these women that are getting these BBLs, they don't take them seriously. Okay. A lot of men they saying they don't take these type of women seriously. They may hook up with them for maybe, a night of pleasure, and that's about it, First Timothy chapter 5, this is verse 6 again. It says, "But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth." And see, again, these Eves that are out here getting these BBLs and body enhancement surgeries and whatnot, they're spiritually dead, because here it is. If they feared the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, they would not be running down here to these doctors and allowing these doctors to cut on them and hack on them, just so that they can try to achieve a certain look, which is just pure vain, And see, here it is. Being spiritually dead, will lead to a physical death or destruction, because, again, a lot of these Eves that are getting these BBLs and whatnot, they're dropping, and they're having all types of health issues and whatnot, because, again, it's totally going off, and these are judgments coming from the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. A lot of these Eves that are dropping out here, and that are having all types of health issues as a result of running down here, to these these doctors and allowing these doctors to cut on them and getting these BBLs and whatnot, that's totally going off. And like I say, the Most High is dropping a lot of these Eves, that are doing these things. And again, these are judgments, coming from the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because, it's totally going off doing this. Okay, this is the book of Leviticus, and this is chapter 21, and this is verse 5. And it reads, "They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh." Okay, and see, here it is. In order to get these BBLs and other and these boob jobs and lip enhancements and stuff like that, these doctors, they have to cut on you. And again, that's totally going off. Allowing these doctors to cut on you just so that you can get a big butt, that's just wrong. That is just totally wrong, Now, I will say this right here, if you're in like an emergency situation to where a medical procedure is needed, then that's when, if it's like a life or death situation, then that's when grace comes in, because, the things where we fall short, the Lord covers us on those things, and so again, like if you're in a life or death situation, to where, a doctor has to perform a procedure on you to, to save your life, then what else can you do? But we're not speaking on those type of things. We're not speaking on those type of things. But what we're speaking on, is if you're willfully or if you're voluntarily, allowing these doctors to cut on you, you're voluntarily cutting into your flesh, such as getting these cosmetic surgeries, these BBLs, these boob jobs and whatnot. That's totally going off right there. Okay, totally going off. Okay, this is going to be my last scripture, and then we're going to end the lesson. And this is in the book of Deuteronomy, and this is chapter 7, and this is verse 6. And it reads, "For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, thy power. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, thy power, had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth." And see, here it is. We're supposed to be a holy people, meaning separate. The Lord chose us to be a special people unto himself above all people. But yet, here it is. You have many of our people, out here trying to act and look and do what these heathens are doing. Okay, here it is. You have a lot of these Edomites. They'll run down there, to these different, doctors and get all these different plastic surgeries and whatnot. Okay, and and here it is. With that being said, you'll have a lot of our people. They're trying to do the same thing that these heathens are doing, which is totally going off. Here it is. I saw a video that came out not so long ago with Vivica A. Fox. Now, here it is. She's like 60 years old. Okay, and she's walking around with a BBL. Okay, I mean, just looking ridiculous, just looking through out here. Okay, I mean, it don't even look right. I mean, you can tell that it just looks terrible. She looks terrible. Looks like a hot mess. And I'm not trying to be funny. I mean, but that's how she looks. She looks like a hot mess. I even saw LaToya Jackson. She looks terrible. She looks like a hot mess. All that plastic surgery on her face, and she just looked like just a skeleton now. But Esau has really done a number on our people. Babylon the Great has really done a number on a lot of our people. And this is why I'm saying we got to get the hell up out of Babylon the Great. Because this place is just, everything over here has been turned upside down. Everything over here is totally out of order. And a lot of our people have been deceived into thinking that, getting these, these things, these procedures such as these BBLs and whatnot, that it's okay to do these things. And it's not okay. It's not. It's totally going off, But again, this place has really done a number on a lot of our people. And again, this is why we need deliverance, And those of us that are of the hopeful elect, we look forward to the downfall of this wicked kingdom. We look forward to the downfall of Babylon the Great. Because, once this place falls, the new righteous rulership comes in. That's going to be ruled over by our Lord and Savior, Yahushua, along with the 144,000 elect men of Israel. And in the new righteous rulership that's soon to come, things are going to be put back in order. Okay? Things will be put back in order. Right now, this devil Esau has everything turned upside down. Okay? And a lot of our people are indulging in the wickedness, that's pushed out over here in Babylon the Great. But in the new righteous rulership that's soon to come, things are going to be put back in order. And those of us that are of the hopeful elect, that's the rulership that we're looking forward to. And so, this is pretty much the point. I'm going to go ahead and end off here. I hope it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and double honors and respect to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Kwam Yasharala and Abba Baba. Shalom.